next po is i-acknowledge po natin yung mga participants for today's webinar. So, nakita ko po kanina is meron tayong mga participants from city planning development offices ng mga LGUs katulad ng Quezon City, Caloocan, Muntinlupa, Navotas, Makati, and Malabon po. Yung, meron din tayo from Pasig, Pataros, and San Juan. Then meron din tayo mga representatives from MMDA. So hello po sa inyo. Thank you po sa thank you po sa pag-attend ng webinar nito. Meron din po tayong mga kapatid natin from NCR na HOA, PHSD, and yun lang, sila lang. So, next po is ipipresent ko po sa inyo yung program of activities. So, ito po yung flow ng ating program for today's webinar. So, to give this opening and welcome remarks, may I call on po our Assistant Regional Director, Attorney Norman Jacinto P. Doral po. So, bigay naman po tayo ng virtual clap sa kanya.
Hello, good morning. Claro ako, Paul.
Yes po, sir. Claro po.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat na nandito today. Firstly, nagpapasalamat ako na yung mga representatives from the different LGUs na nandito po today, saka yung sa other agencies like MMDA, saka yung representative from our ELOP Bureau for being here. Likewise, from the PHSSD and yung sa HOA Homeowners Association natin division na andito din, si Ma'am Venus. Good morning po. And of course, sa mga taga ELOP NCR na siyang nag-organize nito, thank you very much. So, dami ko sana gustong sabihin pero baka kasi magbabangga lang itong sasabihin ko sa na-prepare na speech eh. So, babasahin ko na lang po itong na-prepare na speech. First of all, allow me to acknowledge all of you who are present here today. We truly appreciate your participation and your eagerness to learn. Transit-oriented development, simply put, is an urban planning strategy that is basically the clustering of jobs, housing, services, and amenities around public transport stations. In recent years, development in Metro Manila has been focused on this transition as in-city migration has become increasingly prevalent. As a result, the government and the private sector responded to this with the enhancement of railway systems, addition of transport terminals, establishing pedestrian-centric networks, and other related infrastructure. In a way, we were able to reap the benefits of these developments since these initiatives were in the early stages when the pandemic hit. Some notable examples are the MRT-7 extension, additional enhancement of walkways in Pasig, particularly Ortigas, Makati, BGC, and other major business districts, further establishment of residential areas near MRT station, inclusion of bike lanes, as well as enhanced traffic management initiatives. Although the transport sector was affected by the pandemic due to limitations set by established safety protocols, we are now seeing an increase in different modes of transportation and other means of transit, and the general public has adapted to these current changes. It is our hope that the knowledge we will gain in this lecture will aid us in formulating future development plans, enhancing policies in our respective jurisdictions, as well as strengthening partnerships with other concerned sectors in achieving a common vision. Baka pwede po yung plano ni Senator Padilla na cable car dito. No? But anyways, thank you once again and good morning. Happy learning, happy sharing of ideas. Good morning po.
Thank you po, Attorney Doral, for the message po. So, before we proceed po sa lecture or regarding po sa TOD, magkaroon po muna tayo ng ano ba yung mga ideas or knowledge na alam na natin regarding sa topic. So, let me introduce na po ang ating speaker for today's webinar. So, He graduated as cum laude, Cagayan State University with a Bachelor of Arts in Public Administration. Then he took a Master's in Public Administration at University of Makati. He's currently Traffic Operations Officer for at Metro Manila Development Authority. So please all welcome po and give a virtual clap for Sir Antonio B. Pagulayan Jr. po. So, Sir Tony, over to you na po.
Yes, thank you very much, Sir Paulo. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes po sir, loud and clear po.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that introduction. Well, I understand that. Now, let me just share my my screen. Kita niyo pa po ang aking slide?
Yes po sir, okay na po.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to this activity, this webinar, and I'd like to thank, on behalf of MMDA, I'd like to thank Director Tupas, our Regional Director of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development of the National Capital Region, as well as Attorney Roman Jacinto Doral, our Assistant Regional Director, and of course to our planning officers of the different local government units in Metro Manila. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. And I hope that this 1-hour lecture will be a very engaging and fruitful discussion, considering that in Metro Manila alone we have several rail projects that are now being undertaken, and some of which I understand are about to be completed. And this would give rise to probably talagang the concept of transit-oriented development, no? Has been there for, I think it started early 1990s, but in Metro Manila ngayon lang ho yata natin ine-embrace, no, itong transit-oriented development, no? So, but I have to be honest with you guys, because I might be biased dito sa aking presentation, because as a traffic and transport practitioner of traffic and transport management, no, my presentation will be more focused on the transport side of the TOD, no? Because we understand that TOD is a function of both transport planning and land use planning, no? Yun talaga ho ang pinanggagalingan, no? So, and alam naman natin that you are all experts in your field, no? I understand marami ho ritong attendees natin, environmental planners, architects, engineers, and coming from the different fields, no? So let me just give you an introduction or an overview of itong ating discussion natin ngayon about transit-oriented development. So the outline of our presentation this morning is we will try to discuss or review yung land use and transport interaction. Then of course, after which we proceed to the basic or the principles, concepts on transit-oriented development, and third would be we'll try to get or discuss a particular model, no, or a particular assessment tool to determine whether kung tayo ay magpo-propose ng isang TOD, no, suitable ho ba yung site na yun or yung location na yun, no? Then lastly, we will discuss some of the prospects for TOD, no? Dahil alam naman natin na there are several yung naka-pipeline ho lahat yung ating mga rail projects, no? Under our yung mga projects ng ating ng DOTR and other government agencies. Okay, so malakas ba yung aking sounds? Medyo maingay kasi sa labas.
Yes po sir, malakas
malapit po kasi ang opisina namin dito sa LRT, yung LRT line 2, kaya kapag dumadaan yung tren naririnig, no? So sana hindi tayo ma-distract. Well, anyway, so to begin with, no, and I know very well that you are all experts in the field of land use and transportation planning. As again, you have been assigned to develop various development plans, yung inyong CLUP, no, comprehensive land use plans, and perhaps some of you were involved in the development of your local public transportation plans, no, as required by the DILG and the DOTR. So kinakailangan itong mga transport plans natin, land use plans ay nagkakakabit yan, yung makaka-connect. So, i-review lang ho natin yung basic principles on how land use and transportation interact with each other, because as we say that dichotomy between land use and transportation is not really possible, no? And they are, both fields should not be separated, no, as some experts say. So, as an introduction, TODs, or transit-oriented developments, are actually the results of the need of people to travel. No? The concept of TOD deals greatly with mobility and accessibility. Take note, these are two different things. Diba? Pag sinabi natin mobility is the ability of people to move from one side to another. So that's mobility. And accessibility is the number of facilities, with the facility connected to connected to the activity sites. So parang gano'n, no? Magkaibang terminal ito, no, sa transportation. Anyway, so urban travel is a byproduct of trying to accomplish something, no, other than or non-travel, no, such as yung work, no? We travel to work, shopping, etc. No? Thus, this is a derived demand, no? And we do not usually engage in travel for the sake of traveling alone, no? Ewan ko kung meron ganun, no? Basta-basta na lang nag-travel na walang reason, no? So there is always a purpose, no, kung bakit tayo bumabiyahe. Okay, so and usually this movement incurs some cost, no? And usually it is measured in terms of time and money, no? And again, no, travelers often trade off time versus money, no? Sabi nga nila, more costly travel, no, more costly travel modes are usually faster, no? So kapag kamahal, mas mabilis, no? That's why maybe some of you are from other northern part of Luzon, no? Kapag siguro bumabiyahe kayo, pagka gusto mong gumastos na malaki, and siyempre yung oras ang hinahabol mo, no? And if you want to experience a shorter travel, you can take tolled expressways, di ba? Dito nga sa atin, from pagkalabas mo sa Maynila o dito ka sa Bacoor, puro dugtong-dugtong na yan, no? NLEX, SCTEX, TPLEX. Okay, so, but of course, it is costly, no? Okay. Now, what are the objectives of transport planning? So number one, it improves coordination, no, between land use and the transport systems. No? Again, transport systems must be properly linked with land use. Pero anong klase ng transportation? No? So na kinakailangan idugtong dun sa land use. Of course, there are several means. No? And transportation planning provides cooperative interaction between planning, design, operation of transportation services. So sabi ko kanina, what type of transport services must be linked with the existing land use? No? Will it be road-based or will it be rail-based? No? Then it maintains a balance between transportation-related energy use and clean air. And alam naman natin lahat na transportation contributes to the degradation of our it contributes to the degradation of our air quality, di ba? So alam naman natin yan yung contribution ng transport, no? And lastly, it encourages alternative modes of transportation, no? And that enhance energy efficiency while providing high levels of mobility and safety, no? Okay, just to have a review, no? ito po yung evolution of transport system evolution with urban growth area. And I'm sure we are very familiar with this, that transport system evolves with urban area growth, beginning with sparse settlements, which is commonly traveled by individual cars. No? And as the small community is slowly becoming a bigger community, unti-unti lumalaki, no? Additional arterial roads and public transport services are required. No? Hanggang sa dun sa panel C natin, well, as the population increases and socio-economic activities begin to increase, and employment and job opportunities are, of course, inevitable, there's a need to introduce rapid transit to address the increasing demand on transportation. And habang lumalaki na, nagiging megapolitan na, megacity na, no? So dito sa panel D natin, no? When this medium city is gradually growing into a megacity, of course, we need to have an additional or a rapid transit system should be in place. So yan po yung evolution. Kumbaga, mapapansin ninyo, di ba, as land use changes, the network or the transport facility also changes. Now, again, travel is not really influenced. No? It's not only influenced rather by the spatial distribution of land use. No? It is also affected by several socioeconomic variables like income, age, and so on and so forth. That's why studies show that if you have high income, medyo mataas ang sinasahod mo, you tend to travel more frequently. No? Siyempre may pera ka eh. Gusto mo ng biyahe. No? And if you are beginning to acquire your dual citizenship, I mean, kapag tayo ay tumatanda na, no? And we tend to reduce your travel. No? Yun po ang based on studies because perhaps yung physical incapacities na, no? hindi na natin kayang bumiyahe. So yun yung age, income also affects socioeconomic variables, no? Of travel. Now, speaking of land use, alam na ho natin ito. No? It's the classification of urban land according to type and intensity of performed urban activity. And typically, no, land use classifications include, number one, yung residential, businesses, or commercial, industrial, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, how do we integrate land use and transport? No? What are the transport models that can be used as modeling tool? Harmonize yes, meron bang nagtatanong? Meron, anyway, may tumutunog kasi. So there are several transportation planning models readily available depending on the type of intensity, type and intensity of development that is being proposed. No? But because we do not have the luxury of time, we will not discuss in this in detail because medyo mag-focus tayo doon sa binanggit natin kanina o yung tinakita ninyo kanina doon sa how do we design a TOD. No? So anyway, now land use and intensity, if you look at the picture or the graph, no, give rise to traffic generation and attraction. No? Trip generation is the first step. No? You all know this It is the first step in the traditional four-step modeling process, which determines how many trips are generated by or attracted to each zone, no, or a particular development. Of course, we can easily analyze the total flows, no, yung kung saan papunta, saan nanggaling yung mga trips. But insofar as trip generation and attraction is concerned, it does not predict, no, where those flows are coming from or going to. So dun sa travel, dun sa mga highway engineers natin, naintindihan naman ho nila ito that demand analysis for trip generation can be determined through the trip rate method and regression method, and there are other statistical tools. No? So we can determine the generated number of trips, yung attraction and generation through the use of what we call trip generation rate. No? Meaning we can determine the total or sum of the floor area multiplied by the trip rates of each attraction. So merong ganong tools. No? Now, with respect to spatial interactions, no, in terms of spatial interactions, again, using the four-step model, trip distribution reflects or predicts the origin-destination flows. No? Linking trip ends predicted by the trip generation model to form trip interchanges or flows. No? So, pagka sinabi natin trip distribution, it tells us where the trips are going, no? Saan pupunta. Now, bakit ko po dinidiscuss ito? Because later on, in the determination, let's say, when we try to assess whether a particular area is suitable for TOD, ito yung kinakailangan nating mga data sa transport side. No? Kaya po, sabi ko kanina, sabi ko kanina, it is TOD is both a function of land use and transport planning. So that if we have this data, palagay ko naman magiging successful yung ating TOD. So to continue, yung transportation network din natin, we can model this using yung route choice and route assignment. Alam na ho natin yan, ano? When you say route choice or trip assignment, this places yung origin destination flows for each mode on the specific routes of travel through a respective model network. So maraming mga software na pwedeng gamitin dyan. No? Now, the basic principle here is that network users choose the route according to the shortest travel time, shortest travel distance, and least travel cost. No? So yun yung when we try to model yung interaction between land use and transport, no? Considering yung transportation network. Now, going further, now ito lang po yung relationship, how do we integrate community facilities or transport facilities with land use. So parang ito yung hierarchy. No? So when you have a line haul system, which is normally, let's say, LRT or MRT, light rail or mass rail transit, no? Kinakailangan mayroong feeder transport. No? That has to be provided from a feeder transport. So a feeder transport or feeder system linking the line haul system, halimbawa ito po yung CBD. Then of course, within CBD, you have to have a distribution system. Ito yung mga perhaps mga jeeps or yung mga short haul, no? Yung mga shuttle service and so on and so forth. Okay. So clearly, there is an interaction, no? Yung land use and transport natin. So when land use changes, of course, trips could be, there is an increase in trips, person trips, no? Siyempre, pagka mayroong, let's say, mayroong development, and it attracts jobs, no? Maraming babiyahe. And there is an increase in transportation needs. That's why, no, kung mayroong increased transportation needs, we need to change. We need to really have a transport facilities, no, to improve accessibility, no. And then of course, kung alam naman natin yan, kapag mayroong accessibility and connectivity between land uses, the value of the land increases. So yun po yung interaction, no? So very briefly, yun po yung ating interaction, yung land use and transport natin, no? Now, again, if there are interventions or arterial improvements like road widening, pavement improvement, construction of new bridges, roads, no, there is an increased accessibility. Now, dito na lang experience natin sa Metro Manila, and then we really appreciate the DPWH for constructing several bridges, no. But along Pasig River, marami namang bridge yan. And then it really increased accessibility from one place to another. No? So, ganun din po, pag mayroong increased accessibility, increased land value, the land value will definitely increase. No? Then, of course, land use changes, no, over time. Talagang, then pagka mayroong pagbabago sa land use, of course, babalik tayo doon sa there would be an increased traffic generation because mag-accumulate ka, di ba? Yung trips mo magi-increase, di ba? So there will be more traffic that will be generated from as a result of the land use change, and of course yung increased traffic conflict, no? Then yun na, mag-uumpisa na yun, deterioration of level of service. When you say level of service, ito yung quantifiable yung tawag nito, measurement of tawag ito, measurement of the road capacity, no, yung level of service natin. Okay? So, in short, no, transit shapes urban development and land use patterns influence travel demand. No? Land use variables reflect not only trip interchange attributes, for example, yung travel time and the cost of travel from origin to destination, no? But also the attributes of origins and destinations themselves. For example, yung density and degree of land use mixture, no? Now, the quality of road infrastructure, traffic management measures, and all other transport components define traffic conditions, no? Ito po yun, no? While land use system defines the amount of trips being produced or attracted to a particular land use. While land use, both land use and transport improves economic, land use improves economic activity, we have to remember, of course, that transport system and land use must be also environmentally sound. No? Dahil and one of the components ng TOD is that it should be also environment friendly. No? All programs, no, under this, all components should be environment friendly. Now, moving on, no, so ito po is nabanggit natin kanina, if we stimulate changes in the transport sector, say improvement of the road network, no, there will be changes in traffic condition, trip generation, and so on and so forth. Same is true if we stimulate changes in the land use sector. Ganun din, nagbabago rin, no? It would affect condition of the traffic, no? And then trip generation and attraction. Okay. So to put it simply, what is therefore the role of TOD in both land use and transport? So sabi ko nga kanina, it is a function, TOD is both a function of transport and land use, countering urban sprawl and automobile-dependent developments where commutes are made shorter and encourages biking and walking. So basically, I hope and I'm sure that you are aware of the compact city concept, di ba? Parang ganun ninyo, parang alam niyo ang TOD is parang bumabalik lang tayo sa dating setup in pre-Spanish times, because if you can recall, di ba? Ang ating land use during those times ay kapag ka nandyan yung eskwelahan, nandyan yung simbahan. Pag nandyan yung simbahan, nandyan yung public market, nandyan yung parke, di ba? Yung park, kakalapit yan eh. No? Parang bumabalik doon tayo sa ganung konsepto. But of course, ang TOD is deals with high density development. No? High density. Kumbaga para bagang bumabalik tayo sa nakaraan, pero with the intervention of transport or yung transit. No? So parang gano'n, no? ang idea dyan. No? Now, so we move on to the background on transit-oriented development. No? Now, sabi ni attorney kanina, ni Assistant Regional Director, tama po yun. No? Transit development is the exciting, fast-growing trend in creating vibrant, livable, sustainable communities. No? This is also known as TOD. No? Its creation. It is the creation of compact, walkable, pedestrian-oriented, mixed-use communities centered around high-quality train systems. This makes it possible to live a lower stress life without complete dependence on a car or mobility for survival. And it is regional. TOD is regional planning, city revitalization, suburban renewal, and walkable neighborhoods. We are now embracing the concept across the nation as most desirable places to live, work, and play. No? And real estate developers too have quickly followed to meet the high demand for quality urban places served by rails. That's why if you will notice along MRT3, talagang, di ba, along EDSA, along MRT3, nagsusulputan yung high-rise buildings dyan, no? Residential buildings, nagsusulputan na, no? Nag-uunahan na. No? Okay? And transit-oriented development is also a major solution to the serious growing problems of climate change and global energy because again, ang ini-espouse natin dito is commuting, no? Short commutes, no? Paiksiin natin yung travel, no? And this ang objective natin dito is we discourage car usage, no? Yung gagamitin mo sa sasakyan mo. Anyway, now before going further, let me just show you some of the existing TODs along MRT. No? These are commonly mixed-use developments directly linked or located proximate to the transit systems. No? However, this is only based on my personal observation, no? Subject to the technical evaluation and assessment as to whether they conform with the various transportation and land use policies or standards. Because there are existing developments along or existing land uses along EDSA prior to the construction of the MRT, and which are now transforming into transit-oriented developments. So nagbago na yung landscape ng EDSA. No? Dati-dati wala yung MRT, makikita mo lang dyan, isa nakatayo. If I can recall, yung SM North. SM North, ngayon meron ng Trinoma, meron ng going south, meron ng ano ba yun, yung Centris and so on. No? Sige. So first on the list is yung MRT North natin. No? So you have Trinoma Malls, SM North EDSA, Ayala North, Vertis, no? And then the Seda Hotel Vertis North and Aviva Towers, just within the MRT line, no? So dito nagsulputan na, okay? And if you will observe, itong EDSA SM North, di ba? Meron na rin, may park na rin ito sa harap, no? So dinidevelop nila, binabago nila yung landscape. And dito naman po sa ating MRT Quezon Avenue Station, ito rin yung nabanggit ko kanina, we have the Centris Station, Eton Centris, no? Eton Centris, no? Just near I think the Quezon Ave station. Pagbaba mo, yan na yun, maglalakad ka na lang. No? Then sa Cubao naman, ito maganda ho ito because there are two intersecting lines, no? Dito sa location na ito, and very conducive ito sa TOD because merong mga links, no? So there are two existing lines here, So ngayon, meron na tayong gateway dyan, yung Tower Mall gateway, and merong Farmers Plaza, of course, existing na yan, bago pa man din kinonstruct yung MRT, pero yan, ini-improve na rin nila, no? SM, Cyber Park, and I think there is also an ongoing construction here, no? Dito sa malapit sa mga terminals dati dito, no? I think this is a residential building ito. Meron ginagawang development dito. No? Saan pa? Ortigas, although existing na yata yung meron yung Ortigas Center na, no? Bago pa man yung galeria, bago pa man nagkaroon ng MRT, no? However, again, if you look at if you visit the vicinity of Ortigas natin, marami nang nakatayo as suitable for TOD. So marami na rin nakatayo diyan. Merong Poveda, merong educational institution, hotels, residentials, and so on. Saan ba to? Shaw Boulevard, no? Shaw Boulevard, meron na rin, nag-uumpisa na rin. Nandiyan yung SM Light Residences, kung hindi ako nagkakamali. No? And then, of course, yung SM Mega Mall natin, di ba? Binago na nila yung harap nila. Meron PPO na dyan. Ano? So, napakalapit yung LRT show doon sa employment area. No? May mga BPO na dyan. And then, nandyan yung Shangri-La natin, no? And so on and so forth. And ito, nagulat ako dito one time nung pumunta ako ito somewhere here. Meron ditong Greenfield District. Ang ganda na pala rito. No? So, that's another area, no? Possible for TOD. Again, ang sinasabi ko lang po rito, baka kung mapapansin niyo, baka meron pang kulang doon sa existing TOD natin. I think siguro pwede nating sa inyong respective localities, pwede niyong balikan. Ano bang pwede natin i-improve o kulang insofar as TOD development is concerned. So Boni, medyo fast track na lang natin. Boni, meron tayong GA Towers, SNDC Light Residences, doon pala sa Boni, I'm sorry, stand corrected. And then yung Pioneer Woodlands, mga residential na yan. So halos talagang nagkakasabayan. Then of course sa Ayala, very evident naman dyan sa Ayala. Meron tayong existing SM Makati, Glorieta, meron tayong mga parks doon yung ating yung Makati Park doon, yung Ascot, just beside Ascot. Okay? And there are other existing TODs, Kung napapansin ko nga dito rin sa Magallanes, dito sa Magallanes meron tayong MRT station doon. Meron ng mga residential, may mga condominiums na yata akong naobserbahan doon. At napakaganda ring place yun because I do not know kung meron lang access doon sa PNR, sa commuter rail natin, kung ikaw ay bababa doon sa MRT. Maganda sanang tingnan din yun ng Makati City. And hindi ako familiar doon sa lugar na yun. Baka mayroon na nga, o baka pwedeng i-develop din yun. Now, what are the components of TOD? Ito, alam niyo na ho ito. Walkable design with the best pedestrian as the highest priority, to discourage car use. Train or transit station as prominent feature. Public square fronting train stations. Regional node containing a mixture of uses in close proximity. So, dapat makakalapit. May office, residential, retail, and so on and so forth. And it is TOD is high intensity walkable district within 10 minutes walk, circle. Although of course in other areas syempre kahit na yung walkable distance mo, 'di ba? Ganun kalapit, pero kung minsan mabagal ding pumunta doon dahil may mga friction sa kalsada. So ang paglalakad mo hindi 10 minutes from your residence to the transit station. Like for instance, ito napagandang i-develop ito dito sa may Boni, dito sa station natin. Residential dito, may mga residential may mga communities doon. So yung accessibility lang kasi ang question doon. Then collector transport support transit systems including streetcars, there are light rails and buses. And designed to include the easy use of bicycles and scooters as daily support transport. Doon po sa Marikina, hindi ko lang alam kasi isa sa mga proposal, hindi ko po nakikita, hindi ko na siguro napansin na maganda sana kung yung ating light rail stations natin, yung mga LRTs natin, yung mga stations natin, meron ding bicycle parking area within stations, sana. Kasi kung meron ng bike lanes tayo, linking residential to the transit station, di ba? May bike lanes dyan, you can ride on a bike, and take the LRT. Maganda sana kung merong connectivity. Bike share rental system and bikeway networks integrated into stations, then reduce or manage parking inside the 10-minute walk circling around town center. Isa po sa mga very good feature ng isang TOD is that we have to limit the parking slots doon sa transit stations or within the core transit station. Kasi para ma-discourage yung paggamit ng sasakyan. Halimbawa, 5 kilometers away from the transit or a walkable naman, 1 kilometer, let's say a walkable distance. So iwan na lang yung sasakyan doon. So that's one of the important features of TOD. Yung merong konting TDM. Later discuss natin merong travel demand measures na dapat din i-impose. Okay? Sige. Medyo marami pa yata itong discuss. Anyway, so ito lang po ang very simple picture lang to, or how do we look at the actual component sana of TOD. So, okay? So again, TOD is high density development. It's a walkable and bikeable areas, and it is oriented towards mass transport. No? Now, benefits, no? It can bring a sustainable approach to urban development because TOD focuses on dense centers rather than low-density car-oriented growth, no? And it reduces the need to convert yung available spaces natin into development. No? Number two, it can provide mobility options, no? By creating activity nodes linked by public transport. No? And because TOD provides important mobility options, or intermodal connectivity, much needed in the congested zones of metropolitan areas. This will also allow young people and elderly who do not own cars to prefer not to drive, to be more mobile with the ability to use multiple modes of transportation for point-to-point travel. No? Number three, it can increase public safety and sense of place, no? By creating active places that are busy through the day and the evening, no, and providing eyes on the streets. Siyempre, may mga may mga safety features. TOD helps increase safety for pedestrians, public transport users, and many others. No? The increased focus on pedestrian-centric areas also promotes an improved sense of place. And four, it can increase public ridership. No? TOD improves efficiency and effectiveness of public transport service investments by increasing the use of public transport near stations by at least 20 to 40%, no? And up to 5% at the overall regional level. TOD reduces rates of vehicle kilometers traveled. No? Vehicle travel has been increasing faster than population growth. TOD can lower annual household rates of driving by 20 to 40%, as the study says, for those living, working, and or shopping within Metro Manila or within metro stations rather. And number six, it can provide access to more jobs with added public mobility options. Households of all income can access greater job pool. No? Siyempre, isa rin ho yung features ng isang TOD. No? TOD should be, yung employment density should be high. It can reduce air pollution and energy consumptions by providing a safe pedestrian access to public transport. TOD can lower rates of air pollution and energy consumption. And then it can also reduce rates of greenhouse gas emissions by 2.5 to 3.7 tons per year. It can decrease infrastructure costs, contribute to a more affordable housing, improves public health, increases resilience to natural hazards, and it can be a source of revenue, particularly to local government units. Now, now that we've seen several transit lines that are in operation, while others that are being developed or proposed, the next big thing for us is that are we prepared to embrace the concept of transit-oriented development in our locality? No? Are we inclined to accept the TOD concept? No? Or are we going to go for TOD or just be hesitant to introduce TOD? Now, let me share to you, no, yung may mga panho tayo dito, may mga models. No? Unang tanong ho kasi, kailan at saan tayo mag-uumpisa? No? Saan natin uumpisahan? No? Now, TOD can start with existing or with no existing connectivity, or with an existing connectivity, or is a facility. No? Now, while TOD can call for development centered around existing transport infrastructure, TOD can, another way to initiate TOD is through the introduction of new transport infrastructure, no? Stimulating the regeneration of previously inaccessible locations or brownfield development, no? Which means these sites are once used mainly for industrial purposes. So when you say brown, alam po ninyo yan. No? But ang take home dito is that initiating a TOD to a no or existing connectivity, mas mahal po. No? Mas mahal, no? Kesa doon sa meron ng existing connectivity. No? Yun lang po ang medyo funding upfront infrastructure to support development is a big challenge. No? And of course, TOD can also happen when an existing or newly introduced piece of public transport infrastructure, such as a station, acts as a catalyst for market-led densification and land use development. No? So dito po naman, no, when we have existing infrastructure, no, ang challenge din lang ho naman dito is yung cost-effective building around existing infrastructure. No? But again, right now, marami naman hong developments na ngayon, no? Dahil medyo mas hindi costly ang pag-develop, no? Because there are existing connectivity. No? Now, so in this particular area, there are two objectives, no? For TOD transit-oriented development. No? Number one is to improve TOD conditions at locations where transit connectivity is already available, but where conditions of TOD are poor. So isa yun, no? Secondly, we might improve transit connectivity at locations or in areas where conditions for TOD exists, but access naman is a problem, or access to transit connectivity is also a problem. So yun yung dalawa ang pwede nating simulan, ano? Now, alam na po natin ito, yung mga experts diyan, no? There are eight key principles for implementing TOD based, no? Based on international experience, aligning human densities, economic densities. So in short, kapag high density yan, mixed use, no? Mas maganda, no? Mas suitable yung TOD, no? Create compact regions with short commutes, no? This is actually what TOD is all about, reducing person trips and kilometer travel. Ensure resilience areas connected by mass transit. Plan and zone for mixed use and mixed income neighborhoods, no? Create vibrant, people-centric public spaces around mass transit stations. That's why if you will notice, there are cities, well, dito na lang sa Asia, di ba? Like in Singapore, alam naman natin na the public spaces, no? Doon po sa kanilang core transit stations, no? Doon sa kanilang mismong transit stations. No? Develop neighborhoods that promote walking and cycling. Ayan, no? Medyo palagay ko dito tayo sa ngayon, no? Now that bicycle lanes or cycling lanes are now in place, although may mga kulang pa, no? And I think pwede ho nating i-develop ho ito, no? Sa talagang sa punto na talagang nagagamit ng ating mga residente, no? So perhaps we could not only dun sa reason natin na wala kasing public transport, baka pwede natin tingnan, no? Na i-link, no, o bigyan ng network, bicycle lanes or networks, no, linking residential areas to transit stations. And again, sabi ko nga, dapat doon sa transit station meron ding mga bike parking areas, no. Anyway, baka manakaw pa, no. So again, ito yung concept and objectives of TOD, no. Siguro we just look at the graph. So our objectives here is, number one is enhancement of transport capacity, promotion of enhancement of accessibility by enhancing the connectivity, no, with other transport, safe and convenient pedestrian access, no? And third is promotion of integrated development, a promotion of private investments. That's why pwede rin sigurong other private organizations would come in, you know? Efficient utilization of station area and improvement of community image, you know? So these are the objectives of TOD. Now, in terms of scale, how do we develop TODs? First, we have to determine the scale of the proposed development. Sa ngayon, marami na pong mga, like for instance, sa PNR, yung commuter rail natin from Tutuban to I think from Tutuban to Malolos, if I'm not mistaken, marami ng mga established dyan na ginagawa. They have identified several stations na pwedeng i-develop as TOD. Yan sa bandang Bulacan. No? Yes, sa bandang Bulacan. Now, in terms of skills, many TODs have adopted the influence areas. Example, ito po, as seen on your screen, we have the transit core, the neighborhood area, and the supportive area. Transit core are station area or areas, at least 200 meters from the station, where the impact of the transit is most significant in terms of both transportation and other urban development. Then for area 2, yung transit neighborhood area, this is also, of course, a walkable area from the station that is accessible on foot, or with other supplemental assistance, such as bicycle and perhaps shuttle service. Although walkable distance is usually defined as around 800 or 1 kilometer, and it can be currently shorter in Metro Manila due to safe of lack of pedestrian access. Ito po yung nasabi ko kanina, di ba? Yung 10-minute walk mo sana, nagiging 15 minutes because of several obstructions or because of safety issues. And then area 3 would be the transit supportive area. This is the potential catchment area accessible by local feeder transportation such as jeepney. So accessible distance from the station can vary according to the development in the local community. Like for instance, I think in Makati, meron silang loop service na dumadaan o hindi naman dumadaan na ang unloading ho nila ay malapit doon sa MRT. So that would be a very good an example. Now, speaking of local feeder service, now it is also important that a local feeder service be developed that would cater to the commuters within or outside the supportive area. So dito sa area 3. So that high ridership could be maintained along with bike lanes and walkable streets. Yun lang po naman ang isa sa mga characteristics ng TOD. Is because we wanted to increase ridership of transit, then we have to provide connectivity from, let's say, residential or we have to provide local feeder service. Now, what are the 3Ds in designing TODs? There are 3 considerations. Number 1 is density. Density deals with the concentration of users within the immediate vicinity. For various reasons, ito ho na-observe natin, planners, residents, or even politicians of most high-density cities in developing countries have a desire to deconcentrate and spread development to new areas rather than increase density in existing built-up areas. So palagi nyo nasasabi yung decongesting Metro Manila, di ba? Para ma-decongest tayo, we have to create another city and so on and so forth. So it is widely believed that cities in developing countries cannot accommodate additional growth or densification in built-up areas. Indeed, city authorities tend to consider population growth and the limited carrying capacity of the city as prime causes of chronic gaps between the demand for and supply of urban services or their low quality. We tend to prefer development of peripheral greenfield, yung new developments that takes place on lands that are not previously developed, rather than urban development in the city core. Because, of course, sabi nga natin, greenfield development, mas madali, faster and costless. Kumbaga, mas madali. So, pero, yun nga ang epekto. We are just creating car-centric developments. Okay, diversity deals with the users being not only encompassing residential areas or household, because it may also include work, places, commercial areas, institutional areas, and others. Design includes the design of urban block sizes. Ito lang po, mga eksperto po kayo dyan. Street patterns, parking areas, ito po yung mga ginagawa ng ating mga architects and landscape engineers. Now, just to show you the integration between transit and land use, I think I have discussed this. Now, in determining whether an area is suitable for TOD, we have to regard high concentrated densities. Doon tayo titingin, no? What matters most for transit and land use integration is not the average population densities, no? But also articulated densities, meaning these densities are strategically distributed across parts of the metropolitan area. So in here, the most suitable for TOD is this highly concentrated density, because as we have said, TOD is high density development. Then what about design? Ito, I will not dwell into this lengthily, because ito, alam na ho natin, alam na ho ng ating mga mas magagaling ho kayo rito sa yung ating, lalo na yung ating mga environmental planners at mga architects, no? So design includes urban block sizes, street patterns, parking areas, no? Streetscapes, gateways, and so on, and etc. No? Blending good urban design with compact mixed-use TOD becomes an effective tool for attracting outside investments, no? Knowledge-based companies, that's why ngayon talagang marami, and other businesses, no? That's why ngayon, di ba, yung mga BPOs natin na halos parang mushroom na, di ba, nagsusulputan na along EDSA, di ba? Merong mga BPOs na diyan, ano? Yung mga malapit sa ating mga stations, no? LRT stations. This is an example of the eco-block concept, no? Meaning to say, meron ding there should be a dedicated off-street paths, easy and direct pedestrian and bicycle transit access, no? Good signage. It must be short, direct connections between transport modes and transit facilities. There should be an effective parking management around stations, and so on and so on. Now, gusto ko lang ding ipunto rito that doon po sa core, doon po sa within the 200-meter radius from the transit station. Now, as a practitioner in traffic and transport management, it could be better to avoid vehicle traffic doon sa within the 200 meters. Kasi kapag if you will mix pedestrian traffic to vehicle traffic, medyo magkakaroon tayo ng problema, yung LOS, yung level of service natin, no? On both the pedestrian traffic and the vehicular traffic. So magandang may mga nakikita ko na talagang pagdating doon sa transit station, halos wala nang sasakyan dapat doon. Ang makikita mo na lang sana ay yung mga maglalakad, no? Within 200 meters from the transit station, maglalakad na lang papuntang. Yun yung isa sa mga medyo napansin ko na magandang TOD site, no? Okay, I hope you are aware of this 3V, I'm sure, no? The 3-value framework, no? As propounded by various experts in the field, most particularly by Olivier and Salah, no? The 3V framework is a methodology for identifying economic opportunities, no? In areas around mass transit stations and optimizing them through the interplay between the node, place, and market potential values. So, yung node value, place value, market potential values. Now, in here, I would like to dwell more on node, no? Because itong node value ay may kinalaman nito sa transportation planning, sa transport planning side, no? Ng TOD. Ito namang place value, ito na ho yung land use naman, no? And then ito naman market potential values. Of course, this is the interplay between supply and demand na, no? Now, sabihin niyo lang po kung nag-overtalk na tayo. Anyway, siguro I'll just skip some of my slides na. 3V framework, when we say node value, transportation and connectivity aspect of TOD, this describes the importance of a station in the public transit network based on passenger volume, ridership, no? Intermodality, and centrality within the network, no? Place value is the spirit of the place and effect of design on the users, no? This describes the urban quality of a place and attractiveness of a place, including amenities, schools, di ba? Yung mga healthcare centers, facilities, type of urban development, local accessibility to daily needs by walking or cycling, no, and so on and so forth. And the potential market potential value refers to the unrealized market value of station areas, no? So it is derived through market analysis. Well, ito po alam po natin. I hope several of you have been visited, perhaps yung iba sa inyo siguro nakapunta na sa ibang sa pinakamaganda. Very good in Japan, no? Alam na siguro yung iba sa inyo nakapunta na doon, no? Japan is a very good TOD, no? And I think all lines there are interconnected, no? And one line there is, if I can still recall, yung Yamanote line, no? Yan po ang, kumbaga, yun yung circle line siya, no? Kumbaga, yun yung nagko-connect sa bawat lines, yung JR lines, yung ating Shinkansen, and so on and so forth. At doon po, yung potential market potential value of the TOD napakataas kasi nga talagang dinevelop nila, no? Yung dinedevelop nila yung bawat stations, no? But well, anyway, siguro i-discuss natin yun ng konti, no? Now I'd like to concentrate more on transport nodes, no? What are nodes and what are links, no? Transportation network is generated using different sets of nodes and links, no? Now, to better understand what nodes are commonly referred to as the intersections of the transportation lines or transport hubs or transport interchange. Nodes are often connected by links, no? By links. Now, so hubs are the most, ito, meron, itong picture na ito, kinuha ko po, ito yung sa PITX. Anyway, pero if we look at the PITX now, I do not know kung hindi pa ako kasi sigurado kung merong rail station dun eh. Kung yung LRT Line 2 extension from Baclaran to Cavite, magkakaroon ng station dun or ng LRT station. Well, I do not know. Well, that could be a very good transport hub because merong mga different types of modes present there. No? Merong bus doon, jeeps, and so on. No? So hubs are the most important nodes. No, a transport hub is a place where passengers can switch between lines or between transport modes. No, public transport hubs include subway stations with multiple lines or train stations and so on and so forth. No? Now, yun nga po, sana, well, siguro meron. No? Hindi ko lang alam yung plano. No? Siguro merong rail transit station doon ng LRT. Now, the number of lines and modes connecting a hub defines its importance. So, meaning to say, kapag may maraming lines connected to that particular hub or node, no? I'm sorry, or node, mas maganda yung, mas successful yung TOD natin, no? So, isa nga yung intermodality, no? Kasi maraming modes of transport, no? Now, just to show you the hierarchy of nodes, no, meron tayong connective hubs which offer transfers between many lines and transport modes. For example, in Shinjuku, anong tawag? Shinjuku in Japan. Ano bang station yun? Shinjuku, am I correct? Parang gano'n. Maraming hubs. Yun yung highly connective hub because talagang kinoconnect niya yung napakaraming lines. And then yung core transfer stations, no, connect 2 or more 3 lines. Then one single line stations. This radiates from the core of the network. No? Now, how do we leverage the node or to increase its value? Number one, of course, this is costly. Right? Increase the number of hubs and the number of lines or modes they connect to. Isa yun. Interlink neighboring stations into clusters. So that's why meron tayong tinatawag na adjacent developments. Diba? And then increase accessibility for all within the network. No? Increase accessibility for all within the network. So yun po ang isa sa mga, if we can increase the accessibility, create facilities, no? To link one activity site to another or to link residential to the transit station, napakaganda. No? Yun po ang isa sa mga dapat nating tingnan. No? Now, centrality in transit networks. Centrality means it is a structural characteristic of stations or nodes, in short, in the network that quantifies how a station fits within the overall transit network. So the measures of centrality include number one, degree centrality, closeness, and betweenness centrality. Now, I'd like to discuss this briefly. Sa transport side ho kasi ito. Degree centrality is the number of links per node. It is an important property of many networks. The highest degree centralities, thus there is the highest growth potential of that particular TOD. So ibig sabihin, kung maraming links na nakakonect o na nandun sa particular nodes, as you can see, let's say dito po sa graph natin, sa diagram natin dito. So maraming links siya, mas highest yung growth potentials, mas very suitable yung ating TOD, kung maraming links. Because number one, siyempre yung ridership tataas, diba? Yung mix, diba? Of course, dapat yung frequency, it could be also yung dapat yung frequency of service, diba? Kasama rin yan. No? So pag maraming links, then the more suitable yung ating TOD in that area. No? Closeness centrality expresses the average distance measured in number of links from station to every station in the network. So yung distance, no, from one station to another, from the station to another. So ano ba yung average distance, no? Okay, so as the term implies, closeness. Kung mas masyadong magkakalapit ang stations, no, from one station to another, then our TOD, no, might be a very successful one. Then betweenness centrality, no, the extent to which, when we say betweenness centrality, it is the extent to which a transit node is located at the crossroads of the public transport network. Example, if you look at this sketch or diagram, no, this is adapted from the book of Gerald El Salat, no, in 2017, World Bank. Kapag maraming ito, no, di ba? Kasi ang number one rito, because of several, yung isang pasahero kasi, pagka marami siyang choice na pagpipilian rather, no? Mas maganda yung attractiveness ng isang station or transit station ay mataas. Okay? So a station with high betweenness centrality has a large influence on the transfer of passengers through the network, under the assumption that passenger transfer follows the shortest path. So yun po ang isa sa mga determinants or indicators, no, na very suitable yung area na yan. Okay? And kasama rin po rito yung intensity of the node activity. This captures the strength of the traffic flows in a node, no? Then it can be described by the frequency of departures of public transportation. Yung daily ridership of a node, this is a comprehensive measure of node activity. Meaning, pag maraming ride, yung mas mataas ang daily ridership, then suitable, no, ang area natin, no, for TOD. Like, well, I mentioned Shinjuku Station in Tokyo. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that transit station in Tokyo produces a daily average of 3.5 million passengers a day. One of the, I think it's the highest in the world, no? 3.5 million passengers a day. No? Then intermodal diversity refers to the number and variety of transportation modes at a station, no? Modes a station connects. So, yan. As I've said, kung maraming modes present in that particular node, then maganda po yung ating TOD, no? Successful, magiging successful yung ating TOD. So that's one of the indicators. And yes, ma'am, siguro I would rather, yes, ma'am, wrap up.
Apo, last 10 minutes.
Last 10 minutes. Sige. Now, sige, I would like to omit na yung mga place value, potential value. Again, as we have discussed previously, I would like to concentrate more on the transport side, no? Yung node value, no? Yung node value. How do we attract? How do we increase the value of this node? No? By what? By ensuring that basic components or basic transport system components of TOD are present. Number one, mixed use and pedestrianization. We have to densify. In order to densify, it is necessary to have many land uses in that particular area. No? And the pedestrianization of areas can be achieved by providing high quality walking surfaces. Alam na po natin yan. And to achieve and improve interface between pedestrians, public and private vehicles, no? Kinakailangan we have to observe permeability of the, alam na po natin yan, permeability of the location. Meaning, the extent, permeability means the extent to which urban forms permit the movement of people, of vehicles in different directions. And we have to understand that we have to examine, of course, yung level of service naman ng walkways na i-design natin or yung existing walkway, no? Kasi napakahalaga ito because if we wanted to increase ridership of the transit, siyempre nga tataas ang commuting number, yung pedestrians natin, baka yung ating walkway naman hindi na magiging suitable, no? Magiging ang level of service niya magiging E or F, no? Ang very conducive. Siguro perhaps gawin na lang ho natin we make sure that hanggang level of service di lang siya, no? Walkways, no? Yun, again, there should be pedestrian priority areas, maximum separation of pedestrians and vehicles. That's why maganda po na ang approach natin, merong separation, physical separation between pedestrians and vehicles. Because if we mix pedestrians and vehicles, then may problem po tayo, no? Pedestrian networks, no? From school to and from school, stations, residential, no? Kailangan po yan, no? At grade, no? Or what about signal or controlled crossings? Are there pedestrian refuge? Meron hambong mga grade separated crossings or walkways. Okay? Yan po nakita natin sa LOS, no? Iipan ko na lang yan. Yan, nabanggit na po natin yung integration of multimodal, no? Dapat po makita ho natin yan na maayos. Connectivity from the first mile to the last mile, no? If our first mile is through walking, then ganun din dapat, no? Kinakailangan may connectivity from the first mile. Are there pedestrian facilities? Are there transport terminals or access leading to transport terminals? So ganun, ano? So there should be a continuous connectivity from the first mile to the last mile. Then let us not forget our active transport, no? Isa yan sa mga dapat natin tingnan din, no? The convenient distance for walking to public transit stations is between 400 to 800 meters, no? Yun yung isa sa mga measurements natin dyan. And the distance will increase 1.7 to 2.3 times for bicycle, no? If you have bike lanes, di ba? So kinakailangan yung bikeable distance lang din, no? Okay, hindi naman masyado. Siyempre, pag masyadong malayo, baka hindi na tayo maka-attract ng ridership, no? Anyway, and then let us not also forget traffic calming measures to prevent road crashes or to prevent or reduce vehicle speeds at the transit areas, no? Ayan, these are just examples of traffic calming measures. Ako, basta ho, mayroong pedestrian refuge and control signals for pedestrians, no? Huwag po natin kalimutan yan. And then, let us also not forget itong demand management measures natin. We have to limit at least parking spaces at TODs. We have to impose on-street parking restrictions, parking correction fee kung kinakailangan, and then yun, yung park and ride facilities natin, no? Dapat improve din natin, or we have to introduce these facilities within the TOD. So we move now on to the suitability index. No? There are readily available toolkits, no, that may be used in assessing TOD, but I find this suitability index developed by a particular scholar na talagang medyo maganda siyang at madali siyang intindihin. No? The TOD suitability index is a multi-criteria site analysis and assessment tool that considers, yun nga napag-usapan natin, yung three main values, yung node value, place value, and market value. Now, napakasimple lang ho ito tingnan. So if you have, let's say, in assessing the node value, you have this, let's say, may mga indicators kayo, no? Assuming that you have assessed that merong, it is within the 10 minutes walk, with ang scale or grading scale na binigay dito is 3, 1, and 0. No? So if you have 3, no? 3 points, pwede mong kanyan. Let's say merong yung lugar is 5 to 10 minute walk. Then length of walk from point of origin is within 400 meters. Igagrado natin ng 3, no? Or 3. So very simple lang ho itong gamitin. No? So if you have these scores, merong 3 punto or 6 na punto or points, no? Okay? At dito naman merong, let's say, ang 1 point is number of regular users, 31% lang siya to 60%. So i-add ho lang ho ninyo yung grading, yung scale for each i-add ho lang ninyo for each scale, and then you get the total score. At we can get the weighted average score, no, by multiplying or dividing the total score, no, TSI score, no, by the number of indicators. So halimbawa 0.23. So how many indicators to sa bawat scale? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. No? So i-divide lang ko natin. So ganun din, no? We have a tool for determining or assessing the market potential or even the place potential value. May mga ganun. So halimbawa, ang weighted average natin na nakuha, let's say, is 0.31 or 31%, and according to the measurements or weighted average na para maging suitable yung ating TOD, if it is in this particular toolkit, if it is below 50%, then the place that we have determined or studied is not suitable for TOD. So you can look at the transportation journal, no? Napakaganda ho yung, again, maraming mga toolkits na available din, no? Na pwede ninyong gamitin. So prospects for TOD, ito lang siguro i-present ko na, no? We have how many lines, no? We have that are being proposed and currently being undertaken in Metro Manila. So dito po, pwede niyo pong makita, halimbawa, this is a North Triangle, there is a common station. I think this will interconnect MRT 7, MRT 3, and line 1, no? Line 1, MRT 3, and MRT 7. So napakagandang tingnan yan, no? Napakagandang location yan for TOD. Another one is nandito sa Quezon Avenue, no? Mayroong proposed common station and even in Anonas. So these are the common stations, no? Which are, I believe, are very suitable for TOD. No? Then finally, just to give you some information, no? These are the projects, status of railway projects, no? In Metro Manila. Yan po, meron na po tayong MRT. It's MRT 7, it's 64.45% completed. We also have the PNR North Malolos to Tuban Railway, South Commuter Railway, no? Malolos to Tuban. Yan, it's about 53.04% completed. Then we also have South Railway Commuter Project, yung PNR natin, South, 37.10 overall progress na. And then this is the subway project, at least 42.0%. completed, or the overall progress of the project. Then the LRT station, common station project. Dito po yun so this will connect, well, I stand corrected, LRT line 1, MRT 7, and MRT 3. So doon po sa may malapit sa North Station, sa Trinoma. So mayroong common station na yun. It's about to be completed. Then our LRT line 1 extension, 66.13, no? Ang accomplished, no? 63.13. Okay, ano pa? Line 2 extension, Masinag, it's 99.71. Ito, malapit na itong matapos, no? Then West extension, 0.98. Ito naman from ano ba to? Saan ba ito Rector Station, extending westward to Pier. So that's the proposed locations or extension of the project. Okay, so yun lamang po. I think I will now open the floor for the open forum or questions. I'm sorry, hindi ko po alam kung paano ko, ayun pala, hindi ko naka-hide pala ako yung aking video. Anyway, sir, I think that's the end of our presentation. Unless meron pong mga tanong, would be very would welcome questions.
So, hello po, Sir Tony.
Paano ko stop share, ano, sir? Mahirap yung hindi marunong sa yan.
So,
Stop share.
so
Sige.
So let's all give po a virtual clap for Sir Tony for the very informative and insightful discussion regarding to sa transit-oriented development. So sir, thank you so much po sir for the lecture. So now the floor is open po for open forum and questions. So first of all sir, marami po kasing nagtatanong sa chat box na pwede daw pong makapag-request ng copy ng presentation po ninyo. I-email po sa kanila.
Yes, sure. Sir, I've already provided a copy to Ma'am Gaudet ba, if I'm not mistaken? Si Ma'am Sunga?
Yes.
Ba? Anyway, but sige, i-email ko po sa inyo para kayo na lang po ang forward sa kanila.
Okay po sir. Thank you so much po sir. So, sa mga participants po, baka po may mga other questions po kayo and kay Sir Tony regarding po sa TOD. Mag-raise lang po kayo ng hand or mag-unmute po kayo. Anyone po? Sir Tony, may question po regarding ay sa attendance. Wait lang po, basahin ko po. So, ang first question po is, what are the pros and cons or the good and bad effects of TOD in a highly populated residential area?
Sorry, sir. Medyo intermittent na yung aking, sorry.
Okay po.
Can you repeat
Ang question po is, what are the pros and cons or the good and bad effects of TOD in a highly populated residential area?
Well, as we have discussed, no, ang isa sa mga, again, the most striking, shall I say, benefits of TOD is number one, of course, on the part of local government units, no? Kung meron po tayong sa regulatory powers ng local government units, if you can review our policies, no? Because TOD can generate revenues for local government units by, for example, increasing the floor area ratio, no? Yung FAR natin, no? And review the existing land use policies. So yan yan. Now, on the part of, let's say, sa community, di ba? Sabi nga natin kanina, this can provide mobility options. And of course, this can also increase yung public safety. Now, ano ang pros and cons, yung disadvantage, no? Number one, yun, alam niyo po, mas dito sa atin sa Metro Manila, perhaps mas siguro dahil hindi pa ho natin gaano na-embrace ang konsepto nito. Of course, there are perceived negative consequences of TODs. Number one, baka akalain ng ating mga residente na madi-displace kami. Yung mga galan, yung mga perceived negative consequences. But then again, if we are back with appropriate data, if we are back with studies, palagay ko naman yung advantages ng TOD is greater, no? Mas mabigat yung mas marami ang advantages ng TOD than its disadvantage, no?
So next question po, sir, is how does a planner know the exact type of TOD fitting for a certain area? So meron daw po bang checklist or guidelines regarding po sa mga TODs?
Ganito po ito po ang ating observations, ano? Because again, as I've said, this is a function of transport planning and both a function of planning and land use. So, unang-una, dapat tingnan natin holistically, no? Again, sabi ko nga, ang TOD hindi lang naman tayo nagko-concentrate sa land use planning and sa transport planning. Kasi nga, gaya ng sabi ko, function ng both transport and planning. Tingnan natin muna yung data on ground. Or perhaps you can do site analysis first. No? Halimbawa sa isang area, halimbawa dito sa may Baclaran area. Let's say, saan ba posibleng meron ako nakikita magandang, very conducive or very suitable for TOD. LRT Line 2 along C5 extension. No? That would be a very good TOD. Why? Because there are existing communities there. No? Merong existing communities. And look at the number 2, again, alam naman ng mga transport, mga planners yan. Look at the density in that particular area, no? Population density, employment, jobs, and so on, di ba? So, pag na-plot na natin yun, I think wala namang masama kung titingnan natin, we try to analyze first the area and determine whether it is suitable for TOD. So, yun yung ano ba ang mga pwede nating gawin? Tingnan muna, no? Of course, yung transit station, kaya nga naka-angkla kasi yung TOD sa transit station. We have to look at the ridership, we have to look at the frequency of service, we have to look at the amount of passenger flows, no? na generate or na-attract ng isang transit station and other developments. So yun yung isa sa mga isa sa mga paraan natin kung paano natin ma-determine. Again, sabi ko nga, as a traffic and transport management practitioner, nakikita ko lang sa transport side. No? I'm not privy on the, let's say, dun sa mga transport, sa land use policies natin. Ano? So nakikita ko muna sa transport side. But again, sabi ko, tingnan natin sa dalawang anggulo, transport and land use.
So next question, sir, is from Aurora Shego po ng Caloocan CPDO. Who should we approach for technical assistance if we want to undertake a study on TOD for a specific area po?
Sorry, sir?
Again po, who should we approach for technical assistance if we want to undertake a study on TOD for a specific area?
Well, there are so many consultancies here, no? Consultancy companies here, no? Magagaling sila sa area na. Now, ang akin lang is the role of local government units because, well, kayo po ang kayo ang gumagawa ng inyong land use plans ninyo and your role as regulators, no? As regulators, no? Kayo kasi ang tawag dito, naglalatag ng policy, di ba? So we have to really take a closer look kung ano yung policy natin and then yung proposed developments as proposed by private, let's say, merong gustong mag-invest. Okay? Ngayon, although sabi ko I am privy to this, ang ating titingnan diyan marami, of course, yung mismong proponent, di ba? Tingnan mo yung mismong proponent kasi sila naman mismong maglalatag sa local government eh. But then again, di ba? Naka-jive ba yan sa land use and transport policy ng isang local government? Kasi normally, as I have observed, all TOD developments within, along, let's say, MRT are private initiated. No? Ang LGU, nagkukuhan lang siya, tumitingin lang ng plano ng bawat proponent. Diba? Now, siguro, pwede na siguro natin gawin as local government planners is see to it that merong congruence or nag-jive yung land use policy natin doon proposed developments, di ba? Nag-jive ba? Meron bang, and on the other way around, meron bang pagkukulang? Meron bang pagkukulang if in case na-develop na yung area, no? Nandiyan na yung TOD, nandiyan na yung site, di ba? Nandiyan na yung development. Meron ba pwede nating as local government units, meron pa ba pwede nating gawin para mas ma-enhance, mas ma-improve yung TOD? Yun yun, no? Kaya yung role ng local government like instituting a bike lane, providing walkable areas, perhaps dito tayo mag-excel, no? Sa mga local governments. Let's yung siguro yung vertical developments, well, ako if I may suggest, well, forte ng developer yan, forte ng proponent eh. Now, tingnan natin doon sa area na pwede natin magawa bilang sa local government, no? Kinakailangan i-jive natin eh, di ba? So, titingnan natin yung proponent, yung development plan, na ano ba? Naka-jive ba doon sa ating land use and transport policy?
Next question po, sir. In your view, what are the root causes of the mobility difficulties being experienced by residents of Metro Manila? And what are the barriers to achieving more equal or accessible mobility in Metro Manila?
Naku, mahabang na ganyan. No? Well, yun na nga po. Because of, very basic naman, because of uncontrolled or yung urban sprawl, doon na nagsimula lahat eh. And then, yung hindi coordinated yung mga plano natin lahat, no? And doon nag-uumpisa, no? Now, in terms of mobility, yun na nga, pagka sinabi natin mobility nga is the ability to move people, and of course, we have to create facilities to become more accessible, no? Yung ating mga facility. Ang nakikita ko talagang root cause talaga is number one, of course, well, on the regulation side, dahil wala pa hong, di ba? Well, it's good. We now have different agencies like human settlements, no? And nagko-coordinate na sila, no? Ano bang kailangan na in so far as transportation is concerned, at least, no, we have now a program, no, na talagang well coordinated ang actions ng bawat agency. So napakalaking yan, napakalaking discussion, no? Saan ba nag-uugat, no? But I cannot directly answer the question, but again, balik tayo dun sa uncontrolled developments, urban sprawl, vehicle registration, inadequate transport facilities, di ba? Okay, so yun lang yun, no? Napakaraming causes.
So, last question po, sir, is ask ko lang po, what are your views about superblocks and does it complement po ang TOD? Also po, if possible po ba magkaroon ng level of service data for major road for public consumption through vehicular counting machine cam from LGU Makati JB?
Yung superblocks, alam nyo kasi, di ba, mayroong, I do not know exactly, well, if I'm not mistaken, I think 100 meters per, yun parang ganun, per block. Ano bang measurement mo? I'm not so sure about the measurements. But yung super blocks so kasi, this may somehow affect mobility, no? Kasi kung yung super blocks mo merong tawag dito vehicular access din, and without providing sidewalks or walkways, then you have a problem, no? Pangalawa, yung may mga gated na yung road network, yung street is not interconnected, no? Yun ang minsan yun ang problema, no? Now, from the point of view of a transportation perspective, no, medyo medyo may epekto yun, no? Merong hindi rin maganda, no, from the point of view of particularly in addressing mobility. So now doon po sa pangalawa, yung level of service for public, ano po gustong itanong nito ni Sir Hayden ba? If possible po, magkaroon ng level of service data for major road for public consumption through vehicular. Actually, kung minsan, ang nag-i-study niyan talaga yung mga proponent, no? Yung, I think you are familiar with the impact analysis, the traffic impact analysis before, let's say, sa isang development. Usually, ang local government units would require for the traffic impact analysis, no? So yun pwede yung kunin doon sa mga kung ibigay na yung mga data na level service data, no? But there are of course publicly made yung mga available data you can ask, let's say, for meron namang ginagawa ang DPWH and even MMDA, no, if I'm not mistaken, na may mga kinocompute natin yung level of service for each corridor sa Metro Manila, and I'm pretty sure DPWH and the MMDA has all this data.
So that's all po for the open forum. Again, thank you so much po, Sir Tony, and let's give Sir Tony a round of applause. So may I call on po Sir Abel, our OIC Division Chief, to present po the Certificate of Appreciation.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. So we'll present the certificate to Sir Tony. So the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Environmental Land Use and Urban Planning and Development Division, National Capital Region awards this Certificate of Appreciation to Antonio B. Pagulayan Jr. in recognition for his valuable contribution as resource speaker in the transit-oriented development orientation for the LGUs in NCR, held September 9, 2022, given this 9th day of September 2022 at Disud Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Colonel Geoffrey de los Reyes Tupas, retired, our Regional Director, Disud NCR. Please receive our virtual certificate, sir, for this event.
Thank you very much, sir, for that certificate. Maraming pong salamat.
So for the closing remarks po, again, for Sir Abel Dilagon, PNP, our Division Chief.
Thank you, Pao. So in behalf of our Regional Director, Jeff Tupas, and our Assistant Regional Director, Attorney Norman Doral, please allow me to thank each and every one of you for attending this orientation webinar on transit-oriented development. So our speaker has exceeded our expectation of not only introducing the concept of TOD to us, but also he explained the underlying principles and foundations of the TOD, and more importantly he cited very specific and local sites and situations with regards to TOD in the country. So as for our division, we would like to emphasize then while we know the importance of TOD, in order for it to be mainstreamed, it should be reflected in our comprehensive land use plan for it to be enacted as for the zoning ordinances. So for planning, dapat naka-mainstream siya doon sa ating land use, comprehensive land use plan for it to be implemented. And it was also raised earlier na yung guidelines po for transit-oriented development, because it's very important particularly po sa ating LGUs to have a basis, no. Ang update po nito, the Urban Development Division of ELUP Bureau of the DSUD is currently preparing or reviewing a policy draft in terms of its goals, strategies, action plans, and how to mainstream the TOD in our planning process in the formulation of our CLUP. So that's it. Very informative po yung ating discussion. Medyo limited lang yung time, pero as mentioned earlier, yung presentations po will be provided. Nagbigay na po ng clearance ang ating speaker for us to have a copy of presentation. Is very comprehensive. And yun, lastly, we would like to thank our local government units for LGUs, NCR LGUs for attending this webinar. Sana po marami tayong natutunan. MMDA for dito po yung office ni Sir Tony, and andito po yung iba niyang mga kasama, sila Sir JT and sila Miss Mocha. Our bureau umattend din po, and of course DSUD NCR, andito po yung iba't ibang mga divisions, HOA, HRED, PHST, and of course my colleagues here in the ELUP na nag-organize po nitong event. Yun po, once again, thank you po for attending this event. Back to you, Pao. Do you have any announcements?
Okay po. So, may I request everyone po na pa-open po yung cam for photocopy. So, we have 2 panels po. Smile na lang po muna tayo. Okay. Okay po. First panel, 1, 2. Second panel, 1, 2. Okay po. So thank you everyone po for attending this webinar. Happy weekends po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Mafe.